Good morning, everybody. I am Professor Muhammad Wasim Akram. Welcome to all of you in my video lecture series. I have been teaching this course for the last 12 years. These video lectures will be very useful to the students of civil engineering. So keep watching, like, comment, share and subscribe our channel. In this lecture, field identification procedure as per Indian Standard Soil Classification System will be discussed. Indian Standard Soil Classification System recommends field identification procedure through the following test, that is visual examination, dilatancy test, toughness test, dry strength, organic content and order, and other identification test. Let us discuss one by one, that is visual examination. Remember, only the particle of coarse grained soil can be seen by naked eye. We cannot see the particle of fine grained soil like silt and clay. So particles of silt and clay are not visible to the naked eye. Visual examination is done by taking a representative sample of soil and spreading it on a flat surface or on the palm of the hand, और उसको देख करके उसका जो पार्टिकल साइज है वो हाथ छू करके ये सब करके हम पता लगा सकते हैं कि ये किस तरीके का सॉइल है. Visual examination is carried out with respect to size, angularity, touch and grading. ये सब चीज़ें, जैसे साइज से हम पता लगा लें कि एक कोर्स ग्रेन है उसमें भी किस साइज़ का है. एंगुलरिटी, वेदर इट इज़ राउंडेड, एंगुलर, इस तरीके से टच करके और इसकी ग्रेडिंग को हम डिफाइन कर सकते हैं. तो ये विजुअल एग्जामिनेशन जो हम नेकेड आई डायरेक्ट देख करके सॉइल को हम उसको क्लासीफाई कर सकते हैं. फॉर फाइन ग्रेन सॉइल्स following tests are carried out on the fraction passing through 425 micron Indian Standard C. Since the fine grain soil is not visible by naked eye, so for fine grain soil the following tests are carried out on the fraction passing through 425 micron C. Number 1, dilatancy. Dilatancy is reaction to shaking. Toughness, consistency near plastic limit. Dry strength, crushing resistance, and organic content and order, and other identification test. So these are 5 tests to classify for the fine grain soil in the field or identify in the field. Dilatancy test is carried out like this. About 5 cubic centimeter of soil sample is taken and enough water is added to nearly saturate it. The pat of the soil is placed in the open palm of the hand and shaken horizontally, striking vigorously against the other hand several times. The pat is then squeezed between the fingers. The appearance and disappearance of water with shaking and squeezing is referred to as a positive reaction. This reaction is called quick if water appears and disappears rapidly, slow if water appears and disappears slowly, and no reaction if water condition does not appear to change. The type of reaction is observed and recorded. Fine sands and silts exhibit a quick reaction, whereas clays none too slow. For toughness test, the soil sample used in the dilatancy test is dried by working and molding until it reaches the consistency of putty. The time required to dry the sample is indicated for its plasticity. Further, the moisture content is reduced by rolling into 3 mm diameter thread till it reaches the plastic limit. The resistance to molding at the plastic limit called toughness. After the thread crumbles, the pieces are lumped together and the slight kneading action is continued until the lump also crumbles. If the lump can still be molded slightly drier than the plastic limit, and if high pressure is required to roll the thread between the palm of the hand, the soil is said to have high toughness. Medium toughness is indicated by a medium thread and a lump formed for the thread slightly below the plastic limit crumbles. While low toughness is indicated by a weak thread that can the medium toughness is indicated by a medium thread and lump formed of the thread slightly below the plastic limit crumbles, while low toughness indicated by a weak thread that breaks easily and cannot be lumped together when drier than plastic limit. One thing you have to keep in mind, non-plastic soil cannot be rolled into thread of 3 mm diameter at any moisture content. The third is dry strength. The prepared soil sample is completely dried in the sun or by air drying. Its strength is tested by breaking a lump between fingers. Resistance to breaking, termed dry strength, is a measure of the plasticity and is considerably influenced by the colloidal fraction content of the soil. If the dry sample can be powdered easily, it is said to have a low dry strength, whereas if considerable finger pressure is required to break the lump, it is said to have a medium dry strength, and if it cannot be powdered at all, it is said to have a high dry strength. A high dry strength is a characteristic feature of clays of high plasticity. Typical inorganic silts have only a slight dry strength. Silty fine sands and silts have practically the same low dry strength but can be distinguished from each other by their feel during powdering of the dried sample. For organic content and color, fresh, wet organic soils have the characteristics pungent odor of organic matter. Organic soil have usually dark coloration. Other identification tests. Other tests which may be developed by an individual on the basis of experience. For example, the feel of soils in fingers, sticking